Well, would you look at that, folks? It looks like it's FTW o'clock. Hello and welcome everyone to Football This Week. And this, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer online and on social media during the course of the last 7 days. And I'll be honest with you, it's the past 7 days that have gone pretty predictably. Ivorian and Tottenham fullback Serge Aurier has broken lockdown for a third time in trying to get himself a trim. To put that into perspective, he's broken lockdown more times than the amount of clean sheets he's kept in 2020, and it's also significantly more than my desire to carry on living through lockdown, which is currently at, okay, wait, hang on a second, let me just run the numbers and then carry the 2, then divide by the square root of pi, it equals 0. But one thing helping me through is the return of the Bundesliga.
Thousands and thousands of hours of football, each more climactic than the last.
Now the German FA are taking absolutely no chances at all. Everything's behind closed doors, even the footballs are getting disinfected. Oh there's even a corona there. You see, you've got to stay alert at all times, lads. But despite all the health and safety measures, Dennis Diekmeyer was taking absolutely no chances, getting himself red carded in the 4th minute so that he could just go home. The biggest game of the league's return was arguably Borussia Dortmund hosting fierce rivals Schalke, and they absolutely slapped those fierce rivals 4-0. There was an attempt at social distancing on the bench with substitutes spread out to 2 meters, but kind of falls apart when you look at the marking in the box. Erling Haaland's back to scoring ways. Shock. The man is literally a robot. I'm telling you now. He doesn't train. He just installs the latest Windows 10 update. He learns tactics through a USB 3.0 port on his left temple. He doesn't sleep. He just simply restarts. And then he further installs the latest Windows 10 update. Schalke defender Jean-Claire Todibo had a heated exchange with Haaland just before he scored his goal, where he in essence told him to suck his nan, who coincidentally is the very popular search engine known as Google. I'm being serious, lads. He's not human. He is a robot. Just take a look at his interviews.
How are you feeling right now?
I feel very good.
Anything else?
You asked how I feel, I answered.
Genuinely though, Schalke were absolutely awful, and they weren't helped by an absolutely tragic display in between the sticks. You could have put a broken broomstick made in 1976 in net and it would have been better. Axel Witsel was quick to come in with the housery, sorting out some wordplay for Schalke 0-4 because they lost 4-0. I really wish I'd thought of that joke. Regardless, it's a housery award for the Belgian. I did, however, really appreciate Dortmund clapping the fans at the end of the game, even though they weren't actually at the game. Elsewhere in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich stayed top of the league with a 2-0 win over Union Berlin. But we don't care about them because if you support Bayern, then you're a glory supporter. Or you've got family who also support Bayern. Or you're from Munich and you support local. Listen, I realise now it maybe is socially acceptable to support them. My favourite team ever from day one, Bayer Leverkusen, beat relegation favourites Werder Bremen 4-1. Every single goal coming with the head. It felt like I was watching an old Kim Kardashian video. Meanwhile, at Borussia Mönchengladbach, a poor cameraman was struck in the back of the head whilst operating his camera. I mean, what else does he do? There's like 3 humans in the whole stadium that aren't playing the actual game, and you managed to actually hit one of them. On top of that, Swiss forward Braille Mbolo thought he was stealing a tactic note from the opposition, only to realise it was the tag from one of their shirts. Not sure you're going to get much information from that, apart from his size, which apparently was a medium. And finally in the Bundesliga, Augsburg coach Heiko Herrlich missed the restart of the Bundesliga after breaking quarantine rules by leaving the team hotel to buy toothpaste. Of all the things, I mean, I guess there's never a time where you can't be minty fresh. Imagine being the player that snitched on him, by the way. Yeah, so basically, I heard that the boss has gone AWOL, you know. I don't think it's acceptable. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's mad. We'll definitely take the steps to... I heard he was buying toothpaste. Yeah, we don't really care about the details. It's just that he's like, I'm hearing it's Aquafresh. Okay, look, we don't care about that. It doesn't. Back in the UK, and the big news is that Callum Hudson-Odoi has been arrested after a domestic incident with his partner. I mean, I don't know about you lot, but as far as I'm concerned, the main crime he's committed is getting 150k a week on his contract. He's got the same amount of arrests as goals scored as a professional footballer, for crying out loud. It is a madness of a story though, and I do hope it can be resolved between the two of them properly. I won't go into too much detail as to what it's about because it's all alleged, but we'll wait and see as to what goes down now. Elsewhere, the Premier League clubs are back in training, and honestly, there really are some sights. And by sights, I mean trims. Some shocking trims. Hence, I'd like to welcome you to Trim Watch. Now, in a wild West London, we can usually spot a miniature Malteser and Golo. However, in recent times, the population has dwindled, and we now have a new hair follicled version of the original Cante. In Italy, a similar fate has befallen the crested Ashley Young. The dove-winged De Gea has skipped molting season, and dear mother of God, what is that? Sadio, lad, I'm sorry, it's time to let go. This hairline is a madness, alright? When he arrives at training on time, his hairline is still 15 minutes late. Tottenham striker Harry Kane is happy to be back at training, posting a picture of him shooting with the caption, "Missed this." I'm not surprised, you tend to miss a lot of big chances, don't you, Harry? But one man who's not going to be back in Premier League training is Troy Deeney. Now, he's received a lot of backlash for this, and in essence, he's refused to go back to training, whether he's paid or not. And a lot of people are quick to jump on the bandwagon. He just wants the season to get voided because, you know, it avoids Watford getting relegated, or I don't know. But the reality is, his partner has recently had a child, and that child has breathing difficulties. They're like a few months old, and corona is most prominent amongst people who have breathing difficulties, like asthma, etc. So basically, he's refusing to go in because he doesn't want to get the virus and bring it home to his child, which is completely fine and understandable and reasonable. I don't understand why people are going mental at this. This whole thing is so much bigger than just football. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter at all. It's not because of what he wants for Watford, it's because of what he wants for his family. Get a grip. He should have every right not to go in, especially when, let's be real, the government are using footballers purely to raise morale alone. Ultimately, they're humans with families to protect as well, and I have no problems with Troy Deeney refusing to go in. Now, beyond that, an alternate kit for Manchester City appears to be leaked, and, I mean, I'm pretty sure my nan has the exact pattern on her curtains. Moving on, we've got one of the best tweets I've seen in ages. La Liga behind closed doors is going to be crazy. Every time Eden Hazard runs, it's gonna sound like a round of applause. Listen, it could have gone better, I'll be honest. The Scottish Premier League has been cancelled and it's resulted in Hearts being relegated, but on top of that, Celtic winning the league. And I'll be back again next year and the year after that and the year after that to tell you the exact same thing. But do you want an escape from how terrible life is right now? Well, why don't we take a look back down memory lane with FTW Rewind, taking a look at what was happening this week many, many years ago. On this week, 16 years ago, Arsenal completed the great Invincible season, going an entire 38 games without losing a single game. And to commemorate, the Twitter account took away all the L's in their name and bio because they didn't get any L's that season. Maybe they should replace them with D's for the amount of draws they got in that campaign. I'm definitely not still salty about Ismail Assar, don't worry about it. Back in 2008, John Terry lost his footing and gifted Manchester United the Champions League. It's alright, slipping happens to the best of us. We please move on from this subject. In 2014, Leicester signed Jamie Vardy. He's had lots of vodka and lots of Charlie since then, and a bit of a niche one now. It's been several years since the climax of one of the greatest footballing TV shows ever, called Football's Next Star. And it basically gave youngsters from England the chance to win a professional contract at Inter Milan. It was beautiful. They had some brilliant characters within it. None of them went on to do anything. The guy who won was sold a dream, released by Inter, and now plays in like the 9th division in England, but we don't need to talk about that. 2020 really is a broken year. Even the official Wembley Twitter account is getting involved in the Wembley lasagna situation. Graham Souness quite rightfully received backlash for suggesting he would hide a positive coronavirus test in order to keep playing, so you'd endanger the lives of everyone else that you're playing with. That's the worst take I've ever seen, Graham. Get a grip of yourself. How can he say things like that and then get annoyed at Paul Pogba for dancing at a wedding? Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment where we take a look at the best of Sunday League and amateur football, and obviously without much football going on generally speaking, I'm asking you guys to submit your videos using the email on the screens. Feel free to do that again. This week we've got a kid who simply is just trying his best.
Go on, Rob, go on! Oh, yeah.
Go on, Robbie.
Oh.
And again. Go on, that's you.
Okay.
Gain some sport.
Go on, Robbie. Go on. Remember the skills. Go
Go
on.
on, Robbie. Go on. He's doing gown.
Onto the strange stuff though now, and South Korean club FC Seoul have apologised for filling their stadium, get ready for this one, with sex dolls. Why? I don't, you could have done anything other than that. At this point it's probably a good idea there's no real fans in the stadium, otherwise this could have turned into a very sticky situation. And finally, over in Egypt, 4 men have been arrested for allegedly trying to rob stores whilst using masks of Liverpool star Mohamed Salah. Like, how are you going to use the country's most iconic person right now to try and hide yourself? It doesn't make any sense. There's not exactly going to be security guys watching CCTV like, oh, Mo must have got a pay drop if he's having to come in here and rob the store. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.